Hello friends, today we are back with the topic, can a government be run by one who heads it is in jail? Basically we are examining whether it is proper for a person to run a government while being in jail. So the constitutional experts and all those analysts are basically divided on this particular matter. Many say that when they talk about the letter of the constitution, they say that yes, he can run it or she can run it. But when we talk about the spirit of the constitution, then it is a no. Means spirit wise or constitutional spirit does not allow a person who is in jail to run that particular government. Now we will be examining what are the pros and cons, or what are the what is the in the benefit and what is in the losses for these kind of arguments. When we talk about it, constitutionally there is no bar. So constitution is silent. Silent in the sense that there is no provision in the constitution which says that a person when arrested cannot head a government or cannot run a government from jail. So constitutionally there is no bar. Even Representation of People Act, Representation of People's Act, you must have seen, comes into picture when there is a conviction and a person attracts it when he is convicted for 2 or more than 2 years in jail. Post conviction, the RPA Act bars any kind of MP or MLA the membership of that particular house. So RPA Act only bars when there is a conviction. But when a person is arrested or head of the government is arrested merely on the charges of say interrogation, and when the charges are not proved or the conviction has not happened, at that time even RPA Act also does not bar a person who is running a government from jail if that person has not been convicted. So constitutionally, when we talk about letter and constitutionally and about the laws of the government etc., does not bar a person who is running a government from jail. Third one, even the arguments in favor of the person who is in jail to run the government are also because he or she is elected by majority. A majority is one when he still commands it or she still commands it, then it is not feasible to remove. Because when the precedent rule is also imposed, that it can also be challenged on the ground that he is still or she is still the head of the legislature, and because of we know that there is a collective responsibility and those who are ruling enjoy the majority support from that legislature. So till that time they keep on enjoying the majority, there cannot be any removal for them. So this also falls in favor of those who are trying to run government while being in jail. But when we talk about it, there are those who say that there will be problems and the person who is in jail cannot run it because number one, prisoners are themselves subject to the jail rules. In jail, a person has to follow the jail rules. If he or she does not follow the jail rules, then he or she can attract more penalties. So prisoners are subject to jail rules. Second, it may not be practical to preside over cabinet meetings because one who is running or who is head of the government, he has to also attend the cabinet meetings, and cabinet meetings cannot be presided over while remaining in jail. Number two, you cannot actually take files inside, so files also you cannot go through files while being in jail. So this particular situation makes it rather not feasible. So when we talk about it, is it sustainable at all possibilities? It is not sustainable because prisoners are subject to jail rules, plus they also preside over cabinet meeting. They have to preside over cabinet meeting, but jails do not allow you to preside over cabinet meeting from being there. Also argument actually that falls flat in opposition of whether they can head the government or not while being in jail is orders passed while being in jail can be fouled, because orders require signature on files. You see, there are files that a person has to sign on and that requires a signature. So any order that has to be passed, recently we have seen that some orders were passed while being in jail. So is there any validity to them? Many experts say that orders actually cannot be passed like this one, because orders require signature on files, and files cannot travel to jail, so cannot send to be sent to the jail. Even secretaries cannot go to jail for meetings as per jail manuals. So this cannot be a feasible solution. Another argument that actually falls in opposition to the jail particular, whether they can run the government from jail, is government servant. If there is any government servant, then if and once actually he is in jail for more than 48 hours, he will attract suspensions immediately. So why there is a distinction between a government servant and a public representative who is also running the government? So many say that if we draw parallels like this one, then a public representative also should be suspended once he is arrested for more than 48 hours. Similar rules should guide head of the government, as they are for all practical purposes public governments. So if this matter actually reaches to the courts and courts has to decide, then courts actually will be deciding in all those aspects. So we cannot say watertight that yes, this act who is running the government from jail is right or wrong, but yes, I am just telling you that on what parameters it is wrong and what parameters it is right. Next comes about precedence rule angle, because as you know, whenever there is any constitutional crisis in a particular state or union territory, then that particular LG or the governor sends a report to the president requesting him precedent rule on the basis of constitutional breakdown. Article 239 AB talks about situation of breakdown in constitutional machinery. So when there is a constitutional breakdown, then it is imperative for the governor to send that report to the president, and then after president on the aid and advice of the council of ministers decide what is the next course of action, and it may be that the president rule can be also applied, because article 239 itself talks about it. Even article 239 AA also talks about proper constitutional functioning. That's why those who say that a person who is in jail cannot run the administration from there, they also give the context of article 239 AA and 239 AB. So this was the topic that I tried to explain you. What are the feasibilities of running a government? Is there any law that is actually bars a person to run a government, or what is the spirit of the constitution, or is it sustainable enough, or is it practical enough to run the government from that particular premise that is called jail? Hope you enjoyed it. If you feel that it was quite informative, then you can like and share our videos. For more such videos, you can like the button and subscribe the channel. Thank you.